Welcome to How to Survive the Apocalypse. I'm your host, Ben Carter. The world as we know it has ended. Civilization has crumbled. The rules of society no longer apply. The institutions that once protected us are now but ghostly echoes, their once formidable structures, now skeletal ruins. The sun rises over a landscape marked by chaos, loss, and desperation. This is our reality. But amidst the ruin, there is hope. There is survival. There is the chance to rebuild and endure, but not alone. Survival is a team sport. In the ashes of the old world, it has become abundantly clear that to survive, one must surround oneself with a team of individuals who are not just skilled, but also committed to the shared goal of survival. The lone wolf may survive for a time, but the pack endures. The composition of your survival team is paramount. This is not a random assortment of individuals thrown together by circumstance. This is a carefully curated group, selected for their skills, their grit, and their dedication to the survival of the team. To survive, we must choose wisely. Our lives, and the future of humanity, may very well depend on it. The cornerstone of any survival team is the leader. This individual is essential, not for their ability to impose their will, but for their ability to inspire, to motivate, to guide. They are the beacon in the storm, the one who steers the ship through tumultuous waters. The leader is someone who possesses the vision to map out a path to survival and the charisma to convince others to follow. However, a leader alone is not enough. A survival team requires diversity of skills and expertise. You need a medic, someone trained to handle the myriad of injuries and illnesses that can occur in a post-collapse world. This is not just about treating wounds and illnesses, but also about preventative health measures, hygiene, and nutrition. Then there's the scout, the individual who ventures out into the unknown, eyes ever watchful for danger and opportunity alike. They are the eyes and ears of the team, the one who maps out the terrain, locates resources, and identifies threats. Their role is risky, but their information is vital. Every survival team also requires a provider, someone skilled in hunting, fishing, foraging, and farming. In a world where grocery stores are a thing of the past, the provider is the one who puts food on the table. Their knowledge of the land, of the flora and fauna that inhabit it, is crucial for survival. Lastly, there's the engineer, the problem solver. They are the one who can build a shelter, repair a tool, or devise a new solution to a pressing problem. They are the ones who transform the ruins of the old world into the foundations of the new. These are the individuals you need in your survival team. However, survival is not just about skills and roles. It's also about character, about trust and loyalty. You need individuals who are reliable, who will stand by you when the going gets tough, who will put the team before themselves. It's not about finding the best, it's about finding the right ones, the ones who will fight, who will endure, who will survive, together. But be cautious. Just as there are those who are indispensable in a survival scenario, there are also those who could jeopardize the team's survival. Those who are selfish, who are aggressive, who are unable to adapt to the new reality. These are the individuals who you don't need in your survival team. Those who would rather rule in hell than serve in heaven. Those who see the collapse not as a tragedy, but as an opportunity for personal gain. Remember, in the chaos of the post-collapse world, it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about building a new world from the ashes of the old. And to do that, you need a team, a survival team. So choose wisely. Your life and the future of humanity may very well depend on it. The onset of the collapse was as insidious as it was calamitous. It didn't arrive with a single cataclysmic event or an abrupt shift in global affairs. Instead, it was a series of interconnected triggers, unraveling the world as we knew it, thread by thread. Economic signs were among the first red flags. The global economy, inherently volatile, began experiencing unprecedented fluctuations. Markets crashed and soared unpredictably, currencies depreciated, and the wealth gap widened dramatically. Governments scrambled to control the crisis, implementing austerity measures and bailouts, but these were merely band-aids on a gaping wound. Simultaneously, environmental indicators were flashing urgent warnings. Unprecedented weather patterns became the norm, with record-breaking heat waves, droughts, and storms. The effects of climate change were no longer predictions for the distant future. They were tangible, immediate threats. Ice caps melted, sea levels rose, and entire species vanished in the blink of an eye. As the planet convulsed, the social fabric began to fray. Public trust in governments and corporations plummeted. Protests, riots, and civil unrest spread globally, fueled by increasing inequality, corruption, and disillusionment with the status quo. The digital age, which had promised to unite humanity, instead exacerbated divisions, creating echo chambers of belief, misinformation, and fear. In the midst of these crises, resources became scarce. Food, clean water, and energy, once taken for granted, became the new currency. Nations turned inward, protecting their dwindling resources, leading to heightened tensions and conflicts. And then the tipping point came. Perhaps it was a war, a devastating natural disaster, or a global pandemic. The specifics vary from narrative to narrative. What is agreed upon, however, is that this event was the catalyst, the final stroke that pushed our teetering world over the edge. The old world order crumbled, replaced by anarchy and lawlessness. Governments fell, economies collapsed, and technology, the cornerstone of our modern society, became a relic of a bygone era. This was the beginning of the end, the onset of the collapse. In the face of such adversity, the instinct to survive kicked in. For some, this meant exploiting the chaos for personal gain. For others, it meant coming together, pooling their skills and resources to weather the storm. These survival teams became the bedrock of the new world, a beacon of hope amidst the ruins. The world as we knew it was gone. But from its remnants, something new began to emerge. A world rebuilt not on individualism, but on cooperation and mutual aid. A world of survival teams. As the pillars of society faltered and crumbled, the initial shockwaves coursed through the veins of civilization. The veneer of order and civility, once thought infallible, shattered as governments collapsed under the tremendous weight of chaos. Law enforcement, once the paragon of social order, found themselves powerless in the face of such unprecedented turmoil. The thin blue line was stretched to a wire, and then it snapped, leaving society exposed to the harsh realities of anarchy. For the everyday individual, these were times of intense fear and uncertainty. Panic swept through communities like wildfire, fueled by the absence of the structures that had once provided a semblance of security. The supermarkets, once bustling with activity, were stripped bare in a frenzy of hoarding and desperation. Gas stations, once the lifeblood of the commute, were drained dry as people attempted to stockpile resources. As the threads of societal fabric unraveled, so did the constructs of morality and law. Looting and violence became common sights in the deserted streets. Some, trapped in the throes of desperation, turned to crime as a means of survival, their actions a stark reminder of how quickly civility can dissolve when pushed to the brink. Yet amidst the chaos and the panic, there were those who saw this not as the end, but as a new beginning. These individuals understood that survival in this new world was not a matter of strength or power, but of unity and cooperation. They began to form survival teams, pooling together their resources and skills, forming a collective defense against the lawlessness around them. These teams were diverse, comprised of people from all walks of life: doctors, engineers, teachers, soldiers, farmers, individuals who, under normal circumstances, might have never crossed paths. Yet in these extraordinary times, they found a common purpose. They understood that survival was not a solitary endeavor, but a communal one. As the world fell into darkness and despair, these survival teams became pockets of resilience, flickers of hope in a sea of desolation. They were a testament to the indomitable human spirit, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming adversity, humanity could find a way to endure, to adapt, and ultimately, to thrive. The world was changing, and so too were its survivors. In the immediate aftermath of societal collapse, the first 72 hours are critical. This is a window of time that can determine whether a survival team will thrive or perish. The primary focus during this period is to secure the four cornerstones of survival: water, shelter, safety, and stability. Water, inarguably, is the most vital resource. The human body can survive weeks without food, but only days without water. Survival teams will need to identify and secure sources of clean, drinkable water. This could mean finding a natural source, such as a river or a lake, or collecting rainwater. In more urban settings, water towers or storage tanks could become a lifeline. Shelter is the next priority. Exposure to the elements can be as deadly as any predator. Depending on the environment, survival teams will need to find or build structures to protect themselves from the weather. In urban areas, abandoned buildings can provide immediate shelter, while in rural environments, more primitive structures may need to be constructed from available materials. Safety is the third pillar. With society's rules and protections gone, the world can become a dangerous place. Survival teams will need to establish a secure perimeter and develop a system for maintaining watch. This ensures protection against both the threats of nature and those posed by other desperate survivors. Finally, there's stability. This refers to establishing a routine and a sense of normalcy amidst the chaos. Assigning roles and responsibilities within the team, setting up a schedule for tasks like foraging and guard duties, creating a communal eating and meeting area. These seemingly small steps can significantly boost morale and maintain group cohesion. These four cornerstones, water, shelter, safety, and stability, are not to be considered as separate tasks to be tackled one after another. They are intertwined, each influencing and dictating the success of the others. A survival team must strive to secure all these aspects simultaneously, understanding that their survival hinges not on individual efforts but on their collective ability to adapt and overcome. In this harsh new world, these first 72 hours are a test of resilience and ingenuity. They are a crucible in which the mettle of a survival team is tested and its foundations laid. It is a period of rapid adaptation and quick decision-making, where the difference between life and death often hangs on the balance of a single crucial choice. As the days turn into weeks, the stark reality of resource scarcity becomes ever more prominent. The initial stockpile of food and water, no matter how robust, will eventually dwindle. A survival team must then turn their collective focus towards long-term sustainability. This involves a two-pronged approach: rationing existing supplies and finding new ones. Rationing is a delicate art, a balance between subsistence and starvation. Strict rules around consumption must be implemented and adhered to. This not only ensures that the group maximizes their existing resources, but also instills a sense of discipline and shared responsibility. Yet, rationing alone is not enough. The team must also find ways to replenish their supplies. In terms of food, hunting and foraging become primary activities. Depending on the environment, this could mean tracking and capturing wildlife, gathering edible plants, or even fishing. Knowledge of local flora and fauna is invaluable here, as is the ability to prepare and preserve food using traditional methods. An experienced outdoorsman or a seasoned hunter can be the difference between feast and famine. Water, while abundant in many forms, is rarely safe to drink without treatment. Natural sources must be purified to remove harmful bacteria and pathogens. This can be achieved through boiling, distillation, or even solar disinfection. Knowledge of these techniques is critical to ensure a steady supply of safe, potable water. Adapting to life without power requires a return to more primitive methods of living. Fire becomes a crucial tool, serving as a source of heat, a means of cooking, and a beacon of safety in the dark. Skills such as fire building and maintaining become essential. Currency, once the lifeblood of society, is now rendered meaningless. Instead, a barter system may emerge, with goods and skills traded for mutual benefit. Communication, too, changes in this new world. Without traditional means, teams must devise new methods, whether that's using signal fires, coded messages, or even carrier pigeons. In the face of these challenges, the survival team's ability to adapt is tested. Each member must learn new skills, overcome personal fears, and embrace a lifestyle vastly different from what they knew before. Yet, within this struggle lies the key to their survival. It is not the strongest or the most intelligent who will survive, but those who can best manage change. The ability to adapt, to change and evolve with the circumstances is the true measure of survival. As the weeks progress, the survival team must continuously innovate, learn, and adapt. It is this resilience, this unyielding determination to survive, that will carry them through the toughest of times. This is where the true strength of the survival team lies, not in the individual skills of its members, but in their collective ability to adapt, to endure, and to overcome. As the survival team forges a new existence, they must not only confront the physical challenges of their environment, but also the dangers posed by their fellow human beings. The collapse of society can trigger a descent into lawlessness, where the threat of looters, militias, and marauders becomes all too real. These groups, driven by desperation or opportunism, can pose a significant threat to the survival team's resources, safety, and morale. The team's security expert, with their knowledge of defensive techniques, fortifications, and weaponry, is invaluable in these scenarios. They can help create a safe haven, teach the team how to defend themselves, and devise strategies to deter potential attackers. The presence of a well-guarded, organized group may be enough to discourage these threats. In addition to these external dangers, the team must also grapple with the specter of disease. Without the safety net of modern healthcare, even minor injuries or illnesses can prove fatal. The medic's role is critical here, providing first aid, treating illnesses, and educating the team on preventive measures. Knowledge of herbal remedies and natural medicinal plants can also be of immense value. Yet perhaps the most insidious threat to the survival team is not external, but internal, the psychological strain of surviving in a post-collapse world. The constant stress, uncertainty, and hardship can lead to mental fatigue, depression, and even a complete psychological breakdown. Coping mechanisms, psychological resilience, and a supportive community are all essential in mitigating this threat. The team's psychologist, with their understanding of the human psyche, can provide guidance and counseling, helping team members process their experiences and maintain their mental health. Regular group meetings, where members can openly discuss their feelings and concerns, can also be beneficial. The sharing of personal stories, laughter, and mutual support can provide a much-needed respite from the harsh realities of survival, fostering unity and resilience within the team. The survival team's ability to identify, manage, and overcome these threats, both from within and without, is crucial. Their survival is not just about enduring physical hardships, but also navigating the complex human dynamics and emotional challenges that arise in such extreme conditions. The survival team's real strength lies in their unity, resilience, and ability to adapt, enabling them to face and overcome any adversity that comes their way. As the survival team grapples with the challenges of existence in a post-collapse world, it stands on the precipice of an essential question. How does a small group form, govern, and protect itself in this new reality? The answer lies in a delicate balance of trust, leadership, and defense. Trust is the cornerstone of any successful community. Without it, the survival team's cohesion will crumble under the weight of suspicion and insecurity. Trust is earned through consistent, dependable behavior, a shared sense of purpose, and transparent communication. It is nourished by mutual respect, and it flourishes in an environment where every member feels valued and heard. Achieving this level of trust is no small feat, particularly amidst the uncertainty and fear that define life after collapse. Yet its importance cannot be overstated. A survival team bound by trust is far more resilient than one driven by coercion or necessity. In the absence of established societal structures, leadership becomes a critical factor. The leader is not merely the most physically strong or the most experienced survivalist, but rather the individual who can inspire and guide the team with wisdom and integrity. Their role is to make decisions that are in the best interest of the group, to resolve conflicts, and to ensure that everyone's voice is heard. A good leader also recognizes the importance of delegation, drawing on the unique skills and capabilities of each team member to optimize the group's overall performance. Defense, both physical and psychological, is equally crucial. The team must be capable of protecting itself against potential threats. This goes beyond physical strength and tactical skills. It involves creating and maintaining a safe and secure environment where team members can rest, rejuvenate, and regain their strength. The team must also defend against psychological threats, such as the corrosive effects of fear, despair, and internal conflict. The psychologist plays a key role here, providing mental health support and fostering a culture of resilience. In a fractured world, the formation of a survival team is not an end, but a beginning. It's the foundation on which a new society can be built. As the team learns to trust, to lead, and to defend, they begin to lay the groundwork for a community. they start to see themselves not just as individuals fighting for survival, but as a collective, working towards a common goal. The survival team's evolution into a self-governing community represents a beacon of hope in a post-collapse world, a testament to the indomitable human spirit and its capacity to adapt, persevere, and rebuild. To ensure the longevity of this newly formed society, it's imperative that strategies for long-term survival and sustainability are put into place. This goes beyond immediate needs and focuses on the establishment of systems that will sustain life for years, even generations to come. Agriculture, for instance, becomes a fundamental pillar of existence. The hunter-gatherer approach can only sustain a group for so long before resources dwindle or become too dangerous to obtain. To counter this, the team needs to develop an understanding of farming, animal husbandry, and seed conservation. This knowledge not only ensures a consistent food supply, but also contributes to the team's overall health and nutrition. By cultivating the land and rearing livestock, the survival team can create a renewable food source that provides sustenance and stability. But it's not just about food. Renewable energy is another critical component of long-term survival. In the post-collapse world, reliance on traditional energy sources is no longer viable. Instead, the team must harness the power of nature, solar, wind, hydro, and thermal energy, to provide electricity. The ability to generate power not only fuels the team's day-to-day activities, but also offers an avenue for technological progress, which could eventually lead to the re-establishment of communication networks and other modern conveniences. Trade, too, plays an essential role in the survival team's longevity. The isolationist approach can only get you so far, and it's important to recognize that other survival groups exist. Establishing trade relations with them can lead to the exchange of goods, resources, knowledge, and skills. This not only strengthens the team's own standing and resource pool, but also fosters a sense of interconnectedness and community in a world where isolation can be detrimental. Finally, survival knowledge is indispensable. Understanding how to navigate the new world, to recognize safe from harmful, to treat injuries, to predict weather patterns, and to use natural resources to their utmost potential are all skills that can mean the difference between life and death. This knowledge must not be confined to a single individual, but disseminated throughout the team, ensuring that everyone has a basic understanding of survival techniques. Long-term survival and sustainability is a complex and multifaceted endeavor. It requires a deep understanding of the world and a willingness to adapt and innovate. The survival team's ability to develop agricultural practices, harness renewable energy, engage in trade, and share survival knowledge are crucial to their survival. In the face of adversity, these strategies serve as a blueprint for resilience, a guide to rebuilding society amidst the ruins of the old. As the survival team forges ahead, a new order begins to take shape. Emerging from the ashes of the old world, new systems of power, ideology, and control rise. These new systems are not born out of ambition or desire for power, but out of necessity. The underlying principle is survival and maintaining the newfound stability. In the post-collapse society, the survival team's structure may morph into something akin to a micronation, with its own rules and regulations, its own form of governance, and its own cultural norms. The leaders of the survival team must navigate this transformation with a keen understanding of the human psyche, keeping in mind that the rules and structures they create must serve the ultimate goal of survival and sustainability. Power dynamics inevitably shift in the face of adversity. In the old world, power often rested with the wealthy, the politically inclined, or the intellectually gifted. In the post-collapse world, however, power tends to gravitate towards those with practical survival skills. The individuals who can hunt, farm, build, heal, and negotiate effectively hold the keys to survival. This shift can lead to a more egalitarian society where everyone's contribution is valued and necessary for the group's survival. However, it can also lead to tensions and power struggles, especially if those who were powerful in the old world struggle to adapt to their changed status. In this new world order, ideology too transforms. The materialistic and consumerist ideologies of the old world give way to ideologies centered around sustainability, adaptability, and community. The survival team must cultivate an ideology of resilience and mutual reliance, fostering a spirit of cooperation and unity. However, this ideological shift is not without its challenges. Some individuals may cling to the ideologies of the old world, causing friction within the group. Leaders must skillfully navigate these ideological differences, always keeping the team's survival and well-being at the forefront. In this post-collapse society, control is not about oppression or domination. It's about maintaining order, ensuring survival, and fostering a sense of community. The survival team must create systems of control that are fair, transparent, and adaptable. These systems may include rules around resource allocation, work distribution, and conflict resolution. They should foster trust and cooperation rather than resentment and division. In essence, this new world order is a delicate dance of power, ideology, and control. It's about finding a balance between individual freedoms and group needs, between holding on to the past and embracing the future. The survival team must navigate this dance with wisdom and courage, always keeping their eyes on the ultimate goal: survival and sustainability in a world reborn from the ashes. In the face of civilization's collapse, the survival team must contend with the fragility of human constructs and the stark reality of nature's indifference. Yet, within this harsh paradigm, the resilience of humanity shines through. The survival team, in its very existence, represents a beacon of hope, an embodiment of the human spirit's indomitable will to endure. The threads of civilization may fray and snap, but they can be rewoven. By pooling skills, knowledge, and resources, the survival team creates a microcosm of society, a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability. Each member, from the hunter to the healer, from the builder to the mediator, plays a vital role, supporting and being supported by the collective. Yet beyond the practicalities of survival, beyond the procurement of food, shelter, and safety, the survival team serves a deeper purpose. It embodies the human need for connection, for community. In the face of adversity, humanity does not merely survive. It seeks to thrive, to find meaning in the chaos, to forge bonds of camaraderie and kinship. Survival, then, is not just a battle against the elements, against scarcity and danger. It is a quest for purpose, a search for order in the chaos, a yearning for connection in the vast expanse of an indifferent universe. The survival team, in its struggles and triumphs, in its conflicts and resolutions, reflects the human journey in microcosm. As the world ends, survival becomes a canvas on which humanity paints its resilience, its courage, its capacity for hope and love amidst desolation. The survival team is not just a means to an end. It is a manifestation of the human spirit, a testament to our capacity to endure, to adapt, to find meaning in the face of adversity. In the ashes of the old world, a new world is born, shaped by the will and determination of those who dare to survive, to hope, to dream. This is the essence of survival in a post-collapse world. It is not just about enduring, it is about living, about retaining our humanity in the face of unimaginable adversity. It is about the indomitable human spirit that, even when the world ends, refuses to be extinguished. Thanks for listening. This has been How to Survive the Apocalypse. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you'd like to support the show, subscribe to the Forbidden Knowledge Network on Patreon. Subscribe now.